Welcome to Groundbreakers. I am your host, Nick Stilo, and my co-host, Joe Villar.
Welcome back, everyone.
No end in sight. CMHC's back in the news.
It's back in the news. So, according to Stats Can's projections, Canada is projected to reach population of 63 million people by the year 2072.
It's a long time still. It's 50 years from now.
Okay. It's 50 years from now, but we need to deal with that today. Because 50 years, it's going to come by and we're going to
But
have a
how
problem.
do they even know?
They're basing it on current immigration numbers. So
But that's
right now,
50 years away. They're projecting we're going to get another, what are we at, 41 million now? So they're projecting we're going to get another 22 million in the next 50 years. I mean, just last year alone, I read an article, or multiple articles rather, of the great exodus of Canada, how people were leaving our country because of, its appeal. And now they're saying that we're going to get another 22 million in 50 years.
based on current immigration policies, we are bringing in 440,000 people per year. So if you do the math,
1,200 a day.
yeah. So if you do the math, that's the number you get.
We can't build enough housing for that.
Are you kidding?
Like, for real, we don't have the people. We don't have the supply.
Yeah.
I don't even think the banks have the money to build that kind of stuff. We touched this on an earlier episode, and Stefano, our producer, was a little bit shocked that I said that. But there's only so much money that's allocated from the banks into housing, and I don't think that they've even got enough money to build that kind of housing need.
Well, the government of Canada right now wants to build 3.9 million homes in the next 7 years. Okay? That works out to a little over 500,000 construction starts on an annual basis. That's double what we're doing right now. How's that even possible? Double. How's that even possible?
So out of the 250,000 homes that we're starting a year here in the country, just to handle the immigration, we're going to need 183,000 new homes. Just for the immigration.
That's right.
Just the immigration,
Just
not
the immigration. That's not
the
including
Canadians.
not including Canadians, not including newborns, not including any of the millennials that are generation whatever we're at now that are moving out of their parents' house. None of that. That's just immigrants. That means that out of 250,000 homes, we've only got less than 70,000 for our own citizens, because 185,000 or 183,000 of them are needed for immigration. That's right. Insane.
It's a multicultural melting pot here. Multicultural. So we are designating more space to immigration than actual citizens of Canada, as far as I can see it. But what exactly does CMHC stand for?
Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation.
Okay.
Which interestingly is an insurance company.
Say that again.
Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation is an insurance company.
Okay.
Joe, explain that.
Yeah.
So for purchasers who are purchasing a home, that are purchasing a home with a down payment that is below a certain amount, CMHC comes in and provides insurance against that mortgage for the lender. So it's sort of like how can I put it? Sort of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Safety net. It's a safety net for the lender to fall back on in the event of default from the purchaser.
So let's break this down here. The housing shortage is an estimated 3.5 million units. Okay. So to restore affordabilities to 2004 levels, Canada needs an additional 3.5 million housing units. And at current rates, it would take 55 years to build down this gap, meaning that millennials would be in their 80s before seeing affordable housing.
That it's unfathomable what you just said.
That is a fact. Google that.
Google that. That
So
is
you wonder
troublesome.
why. So you wonder why you keep seeing in the media and other places, own nothing and be happy.
I have been seeing that. What exactly does that mean?
I have no idea. Ask the World Economic Forum. That's their slogan.
But what does that mean? It means
That you won't. That means
rent
that
only?
means that you're going to rent. That means that you will be subsidized by the government. They will help you, but you will be in eternal debt to the government. They will own your life.
China implements this now.
Some system of that nature, yes.
But the World Economic Forum is looking to do this across the entire globe. Or at least so has been said.
Uncle Klaus.
What is that?
Klaus Schwab, leader of the founder of the World Economic Forum.
That's what he said?
Yeah, well, it comes from his organization, so yeah, it must have come from his.
So
mouth
this
at
is
one
facts.
point.
He has said this at one point.
The organization, it's their
publicized.
slogan. That's their go and
publicized.
Google them. It's World Economic Forum says you will own nothing and be happy.
Didn't BlackRock say this as well? The owner of BlackRock. The
Well, BlackRock
largest-
is a publicly traded company.
It's
That's
the largest company in the world. They're
Yes.
$8 trillion or some madness like
yeah,
that.
some stupid.
Didn't he say that it would be best if the world was on a one currency kind of level, but that currency is all controlled by the government?
They did say something along those lines, and they also are currently the biggest landowners and landlords globally.
Correct.
They are buying up more housing than anyone else in the world.
You wonder why.
Entire
Yeah.
subdivisions.
Right.
They are buying up entire subdivisions, thousands and thousands of single family homes in the United States, and they're renting them out right now. They are positioning themselves as the largest landlord
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah. So by doing that, what are you doing? You're increasing the disparity between the haves and the have-nots.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing.
My goodness. This is crazy. I wonder if that's facts too, that they bought that much land.
Oh, yeah. Go look it up.
BlackRock
Yep. And Vanguard.
and Vanguard,
Mhm.
which they're both privately, they're hedge fund companies, right?
Correct. But they are publicly traded.
Publicly traded. So the housing shortage. Let's delve into that for a second, Nick. Let's talk about to restore affordability in 2004 levels. I think that's I don't know. That's weird. Why would you want to do that? We can't go back to 2004. That ship has sailed. So how are we supposed to reduce numbers?
Well, I think we've touched on that. You reduce immigration, you build more homes.
But if you reduce
But
immigration,
it's a paradox because
That's right.
you can't do either.
so tell me.
Well, I mean, the Trudeau government acknowledges that we have a problem, which is good. The road to recovery starts with acknowledging your issues. They're promising to build an extra 2 million homes by 2031,
2031.
which aims for 3.87 million new homes over the next 7 years, which is that 3.9 million figure that I quoted earlier, or about 552,000 homes per year, which is double what we're doing right now. We're building 250,000 homes a year here in the country.
Do we know where they're getting these numbers from? Is there someone behind the scenes, a consultant of some sort, saying,
Well, I think that their projections just computes to this. It's simple math. When they project out the immigration and how many homes are going to be needed by immigrants coming in the country, the math works out to 550,000 homes a year, which after accounting for immigration leaves 370,000 homes per year to address the shortage, which is barely enough to meet the 2 million threshold over 7 years. It's not going to happen. Which goes back to the first thing I said in the opening of this episode. There is no end in sight
there is no end to what insight?
to the affordability crisis, to having enough homes for the people that are coming in this country.
You guys are going to be landlords.
Yes.
So how are you competing with the ever-rising costs of rent?
Well, we're working with CMHC on some of their housing programs, particularly MLI Select, which is Mortgage Loan Insurance Select program, as well as RCFI, which no longer exists. RCFI used to stand for Rental Construction Financing Initiative. It is now ACLP, which is Apartment Construction Loan Program. These programs favor developers who are willing to be landlords and are willing to build affordable housing and are willing to build green buildings. It favors it with extended terms for our mortgage. It favors lower interest rates. It favors high loan to cost. But with that comes a catch. We are locked into that program and to that building for 50 years. So we will never pay off that mortgage. I'll never see the mortgage of my building paid off.
So,
50 years, I'm 43. I won't be alive when I'm 93. I mean, I hope to, but the probability of it is slim to none.
so you really, that's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
We're also working with municipalities
Okay.
on programs like Community Improvement Program, where we offer affordable rates to a number of our units in our building, and in turn, the municipality will provide us grants or certain discounts on certain taxes
Is this every
and that
year?
sort of thing.
No,
Every year?
this is at the start of the project. So we did this
Oh.
in Halton Region. Halton Region, we provided them with 25 affordable units, and out of those 25 affordable units, they provided a grant of $250,000 per unit for a total of $6.25 million, and that was for the construction of the building. But with that comes a 30-year term of affordability. So we are guaranteeing Halton Region that we will keep those 25 units affordable for 30 years, and we will not keep up with market rates. We will only be able to increase as per the CMHC's recommended inflation, which is roughly about 2% a year,
Yeah.
2.5%.
So these are some of the mechanisms that are available to developers, but we need a lot more to be able to reach the numbers that are needed going forward.
Yeah, because when you look at it, our 131 unit building only has 38 affordable units. And there's no way we can do more. You can't. The numbers just don't work. Economically, it's not viable for a project to have
It's roughly
more.
20% of the building, right? So
Yeah, roughly.
yeah, anything over than
No, it's
that.
more than
then-
that. It's about 28%.
28% of
Of 131?
28%. Okay. Before we continue this topic, what else do you guys have down the pipeline? Have you looked at your business and said, in the next 10 years we hope to do this? Are you looking that far?
Yeah, we have. So I can't tell you the municipality, but we are currently planning a two-phased, three-tower development, 38 stories, total 930 units. That'll take us over a decade to finish from now.
Assuming everything goes the way
Assuming
that you
everything
would like it
goes
to go.
goes within our timelines, but we all know that doesn't happen. The plan is for all of those to be mixed student, affordable, and market rental units. They will be all purpose-built rental. Our model is the purpose-built rental model. We started out in the condo business, and we switched to the purpose-built rental about 5 years ago now, and that's been the trajectory for our company ever since. And so we're trying our best to work with municipalities and offer purpose-built rentals, and work with the Canadian government and work with regional governments to be able to provide more affordable rentals as much as possible. But it is very difficult without CMHC. And I'm going to say this loud and clear: without CMHC and the excellent programs that they have to encourage rentals, and with the terms that they are able to provide, it is impossible to do.
Impossible.
It is impossible. Joe, and you're the CFO. You can share a little bit more about the financing of this all.
Yeah, the programs that they offer make it much more feasible for us to be able to get into these type of projects. Lower debt service ratio, longer amortization, lower interest rates. All these things add up to millions of dollars. So,
Which then make it feasible to make buildings affordable and to make more purpose-built rentals. Otherwise, as a purpose-built rental developer, the amount of equity you would need in these projects is astronomical. There's not many families have that kind of money to put into these projects if you're not tapping into the government programs. But again, as I alluded to earlier, we're now locked into these programs for a very, very long time.
Now, when you say locked in, perhaps maybe you can shed a little bit of light on that. What do you mean by locked in?
So we're locked into the terms. We're locked into the affordability term. So the payment terms would be 50 years of a mortgage. The affordability term in our particular case is staggered. It's 21 years with CMHC, and it's 30 years with Halton Region. Now, we can sell these buildings, so we're not entirely locked in.
You can sell these buildings that you're working on currently.
We can sell the asset. Now, the
Okay.
new owner that buys it would have to assume our financing terms and would have to assume our affordability terms, and there's no backing out of that. So from a marketability standpoint, some of the REITs that come in that typically buy these purpose-built rental buildings might not want to buy a rental building with some affordability component because they don't want to be locked into a 50-year term. They don't want to be locked into a 30-year affordability term.
Is there any buyout option for a term like that?
No.
No.
No discussion.
No, there's no discussion. We cannot buy out of the affordability term for 21 and 30 years respectively. So
Why-
21 years.
Why?
So 21 years is the full 38 units. And then 25 out of those 38 units will carry an affordability term for an additional 9 years. And we cannot buy out of either.
Really?
Well, that's the deals that we made.
And doing these deals, what benefit did you get out of that? Like, what benefits
We
come
were
from it?
able to build a building.
We were actually able to build
That's
affordable
the
housing.
benefit.
We talk about
That's a good benefit.
we talk about how to make things more affordable. This is how you do it. You tap into some of the programs that are available to us, but they come with terms. And that's something that the vast majority of people don't get. There are terms tied to these loans. There are terms tied to these agreements that we cannot buy out of. We cannot walk away from. We can't just turn around and say, hey, you know what, Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation?
You can't do
on
that.
year 10, we're done with your program. We're going full market. Well, they'll
Gotcha.
call the loan. And then go find somebody that's going to take out that loan.
And then that'll be that.
You know how many you're going to find?
Zero.
Goose egg. None.
None.
No one's going to buy it.
So in order to build,
So in order
You've
to
gotta-
build affordable.
okay. So let's disclaimer that. In order to build affordable housing, you need to abide by certain terms and conditions that'll have you locked in for X amount of time.
50 years.
Oh, there is no
50
X amount. It's 50
There's
years.
50 years of your term, of your mortgage, and there's 30 years, or in our case, 21 years and 30, respectively, between the two government bodies that we have to stick with that term. Now, the one thing I don't know, and maybe you can help me out here, you might know a little bit more about the agreement with CMHC. Can we accelerate our mortgage term? So can we pay that building faster if we wanted to?
Sure, we can.
Okay.
Just because it's amortized over a certain period of time doesn't mean you have to stick to
But
that.
there's no way we would be able to because we wouldn't be able to cover the debt service ratio.